So the two issues that we're facing, the $145 million bond issue allows us to build the 15th elementary school. 15th elementary school would solve some of our space issues. It would be built on the former Riviera Golf Course property located behind the visitor bleachers at Jerome High School. We've already begun the process of planning that site and working with Dublin Planning and Zoning to make sure if this is passed on November 7th, we will have bid packages ready to go at the first board meeting in the month of December. The plan, if passed, is for this building to open in August of 2025. With the addition of the 15th elementary school, we would also then need to do some targeted redistricting in the northwest portion of our district. That would mean students and families in neighborhoods that currently go to Glacier, Depp, some of Penny, and Deer Run would work with the attendance areas of the new elementary to readjust the enrollment patterns in that area. Passage of the levy would allow us to maintain current class offerings and current class sizes, and allows us to keep a positive cash balance into fiscal year 28. With passage of the levy, we also have to look for ways to be more efficient and effective in our scheduling. And our commitment to our community is that this is not an either or, this is a yes and. And we have to continue to work to find ways to be more efficient to stretch levy dollars. Our goal is to stretch this for 4 years. The bond also allows us to take care of some of our older buildings. When we look at what we did last year at Old Sawmill, being able to replace the roof in the HVAC system, when we look at Dublin Scioto High School, which turns 30 years old in a couple of years, it was built in 1995. It needs elevator work, roof work, HVAC work. We have plans to put a new roof on Davis Middle School, plans to make upgrades at Sells Middle School, and plans to redo the HVAC system at Riverside Elementary. We must take care of our older facilities, which allows us to continue to provide equity of experience in our classrooms for the students across the district. If the levy is rejected, in order to make that fund balance last one more fiscal year, allow that fund balance to go from 2026 to 2027, we have to make $40 million in reductions. This is approximately 200 positions. Along the same lines, we have to find space for 1,000 elementary students in the next several years. So the solution to both a cost problems and a space problem is to increase class sizes. Right now, our kindergarten and first graders have a cap of 24 students in their class. That would increase to 28. In grades 2 and 3, we operate with 26 as our cap. That would go to 30. And in grades 4 and 5, we work with a cap of 28. That would also go to 30. This increases the potential enrollment and capacity at every elementary, anywhere from 60 to 100 students. It also allows us to reduce the number of teachers. So by increasing class sizes and redistricting all of the elementaries and middle schools, it allows us to address both the revenue side of things, because we will cut expenses, and the space side of things, because we increase capacity in all of our existing buildings. At our secondary level, where our average class size target is 25, we shift that class size target to 30. We put a floor and say we will not offer any courses with less than 20 students. That puts at risk some of our IB classes, some of our AP courses, some of our fine arts courses. It puts at risk some of our elementary strings program. And it really will force us to make each class bigger and put a greater burden on our teachers to teach larger class sizes. We've recently been asked, where did these positions come from? And this presentation will be posted on the website so anybody can see what they can't see now or can't take a screenshot of quickly. But when we look at, by modifying class sizes, it's 60 elementary staff members, 62 middle, and 82 high school staff members. When you look at the cost savings and how we get to that 45 million, and I'll explain why it says 55 million here in a second, the school year doesn't match up with the fiscal year and doesn't match up with the tax year. So when we look at when taxes are collected, this is a stretch between the 24-25 school year and the 25-26 school year. The reason it shows 55 million as the maximum savings is we know we will not realize the maximum savings with class sizes. And let me just give you an example. If we say the maximum class size in 5th grade is 30, and we have a building that has 107 kids in it, it's not 4 full sections. That 107 students would equate to 2 classes of 26 and 2 classes of 27. So they're not getting to those maximum numbers at every building all the time. When we work with a firm to help us redistrict, we'll get as close to we can. But when you look at a cohort, there may be a cohort with less 3rd graders than 4th graders and more 5th graders than 3rd graders. So we have to over plan for the savings to hit a target of 45 million. We also look at secondary media specialists, EL coaches. We have a hiring freeze so we don't replace people who retire. Administratively, our deans of students and interns will be returned to the classroom. 3 other administrators will be reduced. We just reduced one of those positions on Monday when someone left our administrative team and we're not filling that position. Our instructional coaches go back to the classrooms. So all of these savings will be felt. And as I told a group recently, we can't ask our team to do more with less because we're working at capacity. If a levy is not successful, we're going to have to do less with less, because when these people are no longer in our ranks, that will be felt with how we provide services. When you look at the future and what does the future bring? If a levy's passed in November of 23, we will break ground in late winter, early spring on that new elementary and on in addition to our preschool. Our preschool, and some people think preschool is a luxury. By law, we must serve preschool students who are age 3 and 4 and identified with a disability. And as we look at serving those students, the new centralized preschool will run out of space in 2025. We will also do the request for proposals and request for qualifications for all of the other projects. They all can't be done in one summer, but over the next several years, we'll get those capital improvements done. In August of 25, we open elementary 15 in the preschool, and we're going to have a conversation as a community about how do we want to handle the impending high school growth. We're going to be able to keep the lid on, and things like Emerald Campus, where almost 1,600 kids come per day. Emerald Campus has bought us time. The addition on Jerome has bought us time. But as a community, we're going to have a tough conversation. We're going to have to try to build consensus. Do we want a 4th high school? Do we want to have 3 larger high schools? Do we build a freshman building on each campus? What's that going to look like? It's going to be up to us together as a community to engage in real difficult conversations and set a path forward for high school. Down the road, with the growth that we're anticipating, at some point we're going to have a conversation about elementary 16 and middle school 6. The growth's coming, and we have to be prepared. This Board of Education purchased 100 acres on the corner of Mitchell, DeWitt, and Industrial Parkway. Thanks to the Scott family, who was very generous in working with the district on that land acquisition. It could be a 4th high school. It could be middle school 6 and elementary 16. But Dublin has always planned ahead. We have the land for the 15th elementary behind Jerome. The land that Hopewell sits on, the district owned for 30 years, in preparation for the growth that's coming. It's what we do. We plan for growth, we plan ahead, and we always aim to be responsible stewards of taxpayer dollars. So as we move on, if you have a question, you can use the link in the chat or email info@dublinschools.net